Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast, Retro Life for You, movies of the 1980s and 1990s. My name is Chris Adams, host of the show, and with us this week is the second of well, I don't want to say the second of, but
I'm
another
actually the
one,
youngest cousin.
the youngest cousin, another one of the three dash cousins. See, I almost messed it up. I almost said just three cousins, three dash cousins. So you've had, got Shelly here today. Now we got Brian on here. Now we may or may not have made fun of Brian last time,
And I may or may not curse.
and he may or may not curse, but more likely he may. And it'll be catching us off guard, I'm sure.
Facts.
But this is what he do. So hey, just like I told him the other day, go ahead and plug that show for us and tell everybody what y'all do.
So the show is Three Dash Cousins. Um, we're on everywhere except for YouTube. Um, we're basically three cousins that share very little in common, except, of course, for DNA. And we like to argue about nonsense stuff.
I mean, literally nonsense stuff. I saw I saw the title of your last podcast, and I was like, oh my god.
Oh, pollen?
No. Well, the one, I guess it's the one before now, but it was
Okay.
It's pillow talk. It said.
Oh, yeah.
And I
Yeah.
said,
Tiv,
what?
yeah. Tiv fucking hates pillows.
I was like, what are they talking about? Pillow talk. This is not one of those. And then I got to listen. Like, you were talking about the different kinds of pillows and everything, and I was like,
I need 6 pillows. Tiv wants none.
at one point in time, I had 3 pillows I slept on, but now I've got one of those beds that raise up, so I just have one pillow now.
See, so my bed raises up too, and he calls me like a paraplegic that needs you know,
These 800 pillows around him. Why not?
yeah, no. As soon
To
as
each
as
their
soon as he
own.
goes into the any hotel, he takes all the pillows off. I think it's ridiculous.
So he sleeps with no pillows?
Facts.
Wow. See, I couldn't get away with that anyway, sleep apnea. That would really get to me.
Yeah, well, and Sholem, who was on your show last week,
Mhm.
he has sleep apnea, so he has a machine, so he has a pillow that props up. See, it actually ties back in.
Yes, it does. I can't use the machine though.
Do you take the pill?
Can you rephrase that a little bit differently? I don't have some problems like y'all do. Okay, can you please rephrase that question?
No, there isn't there like a pill you can take now that so you don't have to have the machine.
Not that I'm aware of. I know there's an implant they'll put in you
Oh, is it
called
an implant? Okay.
Inspire. But I've read up about that, and people who've had the implant put in say that. Well, I'd say about it was a roughly half and half, I guess. 50% of people, 55% of people said that when it jolts, it wakes them up. And
Really?
what happens is when your tongue rolls back in your throat, that covers your airway when you go to sleep, and that's what causes the snoring and everything. So what happens is the Inspire implant will, when it rolls back, will jolt that muscle, and it'll wake that muscle up, and it goes back where it's supposed to be, not just rolls back like that. Well, they say that it was when it did work, but it also woke them up in the process. So I'm like, well, what's the point? I'm waking up coughing and sputtering or something if I lay flat
That's
on my
better
back.
than dying.
But I'm just not. You're still not getting any sleep. I mean, you're dying to get some sleep at that point.
I'm dying to get some sleep. Okay.
But I mean, in my case, I would always sleep really well sitting up in my computer chair here or sitting up in the couch in the living room. Or a recliner. I'm good. So I bought one of those beds where I
I
keep the
love
head
how
of the
you're
bed
pointing
raised
to
up.
where your bedroom is.
It's like I'm pointing behind me, like, the bed over here that you can't see behind me, where all the magic happens when I sleep.
The magic happens while you're asleep.
Well, it must, because ain't no magic happening when I'm awake. So I can only hope something's happening when I'm sleeping. Um. Anyway,
It's a
see
Tuesday.
what you've done. See what you have done. You've already derailed this podcast already.
I'm
Um.
sorry. I'm a horrible human being.
Yes, well, yeah. It's not a Tuesday yet, like you said, but tomorrow will be.
It's a
Oh,
Tuesday.
well, yeah. It's a Tuesday on a Monday. We are doing Police Academy 2. Their first assignment is what we're doing this weekend. What I want to do before I get into it, I'm going to go ahead and share on the screen here. and the people who are just listening to the audio will just hear the audio. So I'm sorry. If you want to see the video, go to YouTube, and you can find us on there, and you'll see the video as well. So I'm going to share this on screen, and then we're going to play the trailer real quick. So here we go. And it's coming.
Lock your doors. Activate the dog. Stand up the man. Stretch the wire, because they've taken to the streets. They're the graduates of Police Academy, turned loose on their first assignment.
You gotta build a trust between you and the people, and they'll respect you.
They're armed.
Now look, I'm serious.
And they're dangerous. Mahoney.
You have the right to sing the blues. You have the right to cable TV.
That's a very
nice
important
piece.
one.
Tackleberry.
I was referring to your sidearm.
Hightower.
Yo!
Yo?
Yo, sir!
Jones. Hooks. Captain Lassard. Commandant Lassard. And the lovable Lieutenant Mauser.
It's Captain Mauser.
Last year, they were in training.
Time to deploy for school.
I'll go when I'm ready.
You're ready now, mister.
This year, they're in charge. Police Academy, their first assignment.
Police
Oh.
brutality is so funny.
I'm telling you, that movie. Let me hide that. There we go. That is the Police Academy 2 is probably. Oh man, I really love 3 though. But 2 is
Well,
it was
let's
always
talk
it
about
was always
two.
a very
And
funny one.
honestly, I like In Miami too, the 4th. But I mean, let's
No, that's the 5th one.
no,
Miami's
yeah.
the 5th.
Miami
And that
5th.
was and that was
Citizens on
great.
Patrol is 4th.
Yes. Yes. The one thing I just did not like, I guess, about 5 was no Mahoney. But then again, the guy they had replacing him he did a pretty good job acting like Mahoney.
Yeah.
So can't go too bad with that. We'll go ahead and read just a quick synopsis of the movie here for those of you who may not have seen it, or if you just haven't seen it in so long you didn't forgot what it's about. But the first assignment picks up after the events of the first film. The lovable group of rookie cops, Mahoney, Hightower, Tackleberry, Hooks, and the rest, have graduated and are now assigned to one of the city's roughest precincts. Commandant Lassard's brother, Captain Pete Lassard, which is played by Howard Hessman, is desperately trying to clean up his crime-ridden district before his rival, the villainous Lieutenant Mauser, can take over. The new recruits were tasked with helping Lassard get the streets under control, except these rookies are anything but conventional. When it comes to Mauser, who's your favorite? Do you prefer Lieutenant Mauser or Lieutenant Harris?
Mauser.
Do you? Because I'm a Harris guy.
Well,
Harrison
part
Proctor
of the reason
together.
why I like Mauser is when he first comes in, it's there's a line when he first comes in that sums up his character completely, and it's part of the reason why I love him so much. Is the lieutenant looks at him and says, "Mauser, you're the best ass kisser I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir." And that sums him up 100%.
Yeah. I like it. No, you know what? That was the third one. Never mind. I'm getting ahead of myself. He has a similar scene, the third one, where he's trying to get with the group of people that's there to determine which academy closes.
Mhm.
And he's just sucking up to them. And
No, Mauser's an ass kisser from the word go.
yeah,
And
and
he doesn't.
what's her name? The blonde lady who wasn't in the second one but come back in the third one.
Yeah, she was in the first and the third.
Oh, and I can't remember her name to save my life.
I remember her
Anyway,
breasts, but I can't remember her name.
that's what everybody remembers. She says, "Why mess around? Why not just get on your knees to kiss it?" You know, come on. I love this cast of people they put together for this movie, for the series in general, as far as that goes. And I really hoped that Steve Guttenberg had returned in more of them and not left when he did. But I think
Well,
he
I
just
mean, he
got
started
tired
back.
of them.
Yeah, well, and he started making money with like 3 Men and a Lady, or 3 Men and a Baby, and then 3 Men and a Little Lady, and
Short
Started doing,
Circuit,
yeah. Well, Short Circuit, man, that's one of the best movies ever. But
and then he was in Cocoon in '85. Can't forget
yeah,
that.
that was a paycheck. He wasn't really good in that, but
Well, the Cocoon had a lot of people in there too, though, that were
yeah,
stars. So I mean, he
that
wasn't.
was
I
more
don't
of a
think he was.
serious. Yeah, he couldn't do the serious roles. He was good at being a goofball.
Yeah, very good at being a goofball for sure. Always loved him, and like I said, the Police Academy movies. The Mahoney character stands out amongst all of them to me. It
Yeah.
just fit him so well. Um, Bubba Smith reprises his role as Moses Hightower.
Hightower, yeah.
Actually a former NFL player, but brought serious physical comedy chops to the franchise. Do you remember what football team he played with?
Bills and Colts.
Bills and Colts. I'm sure he was a monster on the field.
He is I mean,
He's,
definitely better than me, but
he did say that he made more money in Police Academy 2 than he did in 10 years of playing football.
well, yeah. I mean, I know this is not a football podcast, but the way that
It's not a hockey podcast either, as far as that goes. Let's get that out there.
the way that NFL salaries are now is completely different than they were in the 80s, 70s when he played in the 70s. So
Yeah.
completely different. I mean, if you want to talk about one of the all-time greatest running backs, he made way more money acting than he did playing football.
Yeah.
O.J. Simpson as well too.
Yeah. The reason why he made though more money, it's not just because football didn't pay as much or anything. This movie wouldn't have paid a whole lot either, technically, if you think about.
He got royalties though, didn't he?
Oh, you'll get royalties, but he made more money after making the movie because he requested a 2% piece of the movie's profits
Yeah.
in lieu of a higher salary prior to the shooting. So he made more money with that 2% profit of the 2% of the movie's profits than he did in 10 whole years of football added up, is what he was saying basically.
It makes sense.
So yeah, and like we said, in the 70s football didn't pay very much. So I mean, what are you gonna do? David Graff back as Eugene Tackleberry. You're ready, oh mister.
Yeah, when he shoots through the back window and puts the tear gas in the promo that you played, that was a great scene. He's like,
Yeah. He's known for that in every movie.
yeah,
Every movie he's done something that's like in Assignment Miami Beach of all things. A shark is coming up to shore. And he's in the water with that gun pointed out as the shark is coming up out of the water. And what does he tell it? Cease and desist or something like that? Or I forget what he said exactly. You know, and the shark turns around, swims off in a hurry before he gets shot.
Well, I thought we were doing two.
I'm just saying, I mean, he does this in every movie. He's got something in every movie that he does.
Well, I mean, you always blame me for derailing your episodes. So
Oh no. We derail every week. The people that listen are like, it's probably taking bets on like, all right, how many minutes in? What's the over under? Before they jump to something different. So that's what makes us fun though. See,
that's what makes it. I thought it was your charming personality.
Well, it's the second thing that makes it fun. You know.
Okay.
People do, you know, it's like Travis, if you're listening, you know they tune in for me, not you.
Facts, 100%.
And
I mean, I only listen when you're involved, Chris.
And according to Sholem, they tune in for him when y'all do y'all's show.
I say bullshit.
Do you? That's not what he said. I'm not trying to put you out there, you know, but that's what he said. Maybe he said it. I don't know. Tackleberry, David Graff also, you know, he's the only one I think to do every last Police Academy movie.
Really?
I think so. He stayed with the franchise all the way. I'm not 100% sure if he's the only one. Bubba Smith may have been in all of them too. No, you know what?
No,
Michael Winslow was in all of them.
Yeah.
Even the TV thing.
Yeah, so Michael Winslow actually now is trying to revive his stand-up stuff. Check him out. He's touring again. He's hilarious.
He is funny. He does the voices, the sounds, and everything.
Mhm.
You know, everybody's like, "Do that thing when you do the, the machine gun, or do the helicopter."
Yeah, the machine gun and the helicopters are easier. The way he throws his voice and the way he can honestly, I think his best role though was in Spaceballs.
I just watched that last weekend.
Yeah, no, he's phenomenal. If you get a chance to see him, check him out locally, wherever you're at. He's doing a great job. He's hilarious.
What is one of the most amazing things you've seen him do as far as using his voice for sounds and stuff?
He can throw his voice so it sounds like it's coming from behind you. So he actually made me think I farted. We were in a club in Raleigh, North Carolina, and um, I was telling him how great he was doing, and I'm a big fan, yada yada yada. And I thought I farted
Excuse
because
me, what I
yeah,
had, but excuse me.
he threw his voice, and it sounded like it came from behind me. I was like, was that me? I didn't. Maybe. So that I mean that was Michael Winslow is hilarious, and as far as like on screen stuff, I think when he does the karate action movies,
Yes,
I love that so much because when he moves his mouth, nothing comes out, and then when he's not moving his mouth, you can
there
hear
it
him
is.
talking. So
Yeah,
it's difficult to explain without actually seeing it, but when
it's
he's
like
like,
watching the old
Fight,
kung
fight me.
fu theaters. You know,
Yeah, exactly. I wish that he actually would team up with Quentin Tarantino and like just do an entire movie because that would
It's-
be awesome. Like Tarantino could do all the, write the script and have like an actual kung fu movie, and then just have Michael Winslow be the voice.
want to fight, huh? Fight me. You know what? What I've seen him, I've seen this on some talk show, and I'm not entirely sure. I believe it was him doing all of it, but it probably was. But they
Led
did
Zeppelin,
a
Stairway to
Led,
Heaven.
not Stairway to Heaven.
Yeah,
No, it was Led Zeppelin, yes, but not Stairway to
it
Heaven.
was Whole Lot of Love.
Whole Lot of Love, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you get the sound of the electric guitar coming
Mhm.
out. You got the Robert Plant sound, like he's doing his voice and everything. And I'm like, there's no way he's actually pulling that off. But I don't know. I can't say that he
No, he
can't.
did,
He
and that
does
yeah,
he does everything
actually,
else, right?
yeah, he did it with John Mayer, who's now doing um, Dead and Forever at the Sphere in Vegas. They're doing a residency out there, and I've seen the Dead do their show a couple times now, and I keep wanting him to bring Michael Winslow out and just do that again
Yeah.
because that'd be mesmerizing.
Well, let's see. We got Marion Ramsey, Officer Hooks,
Hmm.
the one that talks really low when she's trying to get her job done. Excuse me, Brian. Can you stop just looking away like that over there? Could you pay attention, Brian? Stop moving, dirtbag.
I'm sorry,
I mean,
is it just me or am I, like okay? Never mind. Yeah, yes, sir.
it's just you, yes. But yeah, who doesn't like him? Who doesn't like Officer Hooks? I mean, it's so
She's
soft
just
spoken
so
throughout
sweet.
so soft spoken throughout the whole movie, and then out of nowhere, she's
She
assertive
kicks
and
in that one
forceful.
line in every movie. She kicks in the one line,
Yeah, sure
which
enough.
is what I hate about the way they marketed Police Academy 2 is that they showed you her one line in the promo.
Right?
I hate when marketing does that.
Yeah. Well, and what I hate with marketing, they show you things that you think is going to be in the movie, and it never makes the film. It's
Oh, facts, yeah.
cutting
No,
room
that's true
floor
too, yeah.
stuff. Like, what happened to that part? Jeez. Howard Hessman playing Captain Pete Lassard, obviously known for WKRP in Cincinnati. and later on he did the teacher and head of the class.
I
think it
forgot
on-
he was in head of the class. Yeah.
yeah, ABC. I think it was head of the class.
Yeah. Do you ever do TV shows?
What for the podcast?
Yeah.
On YouTube, on the YouTube channel. On the YouTube channel for those who are members there and they go watch there. We'll do everything else. We'll do this as well. This goes on there, but we also we'll do TV shows. I think we got one of the A team up
Dude,
there
I
right
literally
now.
gave you a layup. Just say yes, and here's where to go with it.
Yes, and let me tell you where to go. If you would go to YouTube at Retro Life for You, you will find
was
a
trying so
lot
hard to
of
give you a
great
layup.
stuff. I'm sorry. Brian still thinks he's on his show where he cues everybody up and they mess their stuff up. I just go along with what goes on your show. You queued it up. I messed it up. I mean,
100%. Got you.
it's gold, isn't it? But for real though, go to the YouTube channel. Check it out. Make sure you subscribe on there. Make sure you subscribe and you hit the little bell notification up there so that when we do put out more TV shows and everything, you'll be the first person to get to listen to it.
Facts.
Brian's going to be our new account manager here, where he gets the advertisements out and takes care of the social media. If he puts something up there, if he puts up something lewd and crude, just let me know. I'll fire him. But he doesn't know anything
Don't bury
about
me in the backyard like I had to do with my manager.
He doesn't know anything about quote unquote the Facebooks or anything. Okay, so
the Facebooks.
The Facebook. It's on the interwebs. It's a place on the interwebs you go to talk to. Oh, never mind. We'll get with that later. Other than Howard Hessman, obviously there's Art Matrano, which is your favorite, Lieutenant Mauser.
And he also had a great line. Now, was it Hessman or Mauser that said, "I need to get my hands on some fine young men"?
I think that might have been Hessman.
At the very beginning of the movie, he says, I need to get my hands on some fine young men. Well, there's some bars you can go to, sir.
Da, 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 da.
And actually, that's something I want to bring. I don't think that could be played today at all. But like the whole gay thing throughout the entire movie and the Blue Oyster Cult.
Well, Blue Oyster Bar.
Blue Oyster Bar, yeah, not the cult, yeah. That was a band, my fault.
Right.
But no, that hilarious, and I don't think it could be played today.
There's a lot of stuff that can't play today because you'll hurt too many feelings. That's why that's the main reason why I guess we haven't done very much of Mel Brooks, if anything at all, yet.
Oh my God. No, dude.
We keep talking about it. We got to do Spaceballs. We got to do
you got to have all three cousins on to do like all the Mel Brooks stuff.
I mean, we need what we'll do. We
got to have the Jew on as well.
But we got to bring all three of you on and just do like a Mel Brooks tribute. That way we can bring up everything.
By the way,
he's
we
done.
actually did a Mel Brooks tribute just on our show. But
right. And what do they do if they want to listen to that?
Spotify, Apple Audio, wherever you want to go.
Yeah.
3-cousins.com. Check us out. It's a great podcast. It's three cousins, have very little in common except, of course, for DNA. We like to make fun of each other, but we don't get our feelings hurt because we're Gen X. So there's that.
See, if Tib was here, he just had to go listen to the old episodes.
Oh, that's not quite what he says.
That's not quite what he says, but it's close. See, I lined you up. I got you ready like you did for me, and you also struck out. So we're 2 for 2 now.
Dude, I know your mom listens to your show, not mine.
My mom does not listen to my show.
All right, go back and listen to
my mom doesn't listen to podcasts. Anyway, Art Matrano, back to him real quick before we go past this. We'll go to the box office and stuff here shortly, but it mentions him as comedian, known for appearances on Tonight Show and various sitcoms.
Yeah, he was very dry.
I didn't know he was a comedian that
Yeah.
did stand up or anything before that. That was new to
Yeah, I
me.
think he was actually on the Steve Allen show too.
He was
I
on
mean, he went
some.
back ways.
He did more than sitcoms though. I saw him on an
Yeah.
episode of the A-Team not too long ago.
Yeah, no, as far as the stand-up goes, I think he was on the Steve Allen show doing a 5-minute set.
You like his
Very,
stand up?
very dry.
Very dry.
No, he's funny. He's just very dry humor. Kind of like a Mitch Hedberg kind of delivery. Mitch Hedberg, Stephen Wright kind of throw out a line and just let it sit.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go to the box office and the reception with the critics and everything. It was a solid hit, although it did not quite match the original, which it's always hard for a sequel. It was at that time, it was always hard for a sequel to really match the original.
Especially in comedy.
Right. Because you've already seen what they've done. And unless they
Yeah.
come up, get really creative with something new, then people tend to kind of steer away from it. Now, in the second Police Academy, repeating some of their things would have been okay. But when you went to the third, you had to be new at that point. You couldn't
Yeah.
keep doing the same thing. And on some of their returning characters, some of them still every movie they
Right.
got that line out there in some form or another. The movie had a budget of about 7.5 million, and it pulled in over 55 million at the box office in the US alone. That's
That's
not
the reason why
worldwide.
they made 5 more, because it made money.
Until people were tired of them, they were going to keep going. So
So it was also in the Blockbuster days where everybody rented it.
mhm.
So they were still getting money off of the rentals and off of that as well. So
Rentals,
you're
yeah,
just
rentals.
yeah, you're talking about just the box office.
Yeah, that's just a box office.
Yeah, I don't think I actually saw it in the theaters, but I know I watched it rental a dozen times when I was a kid.
Yeah, I didn't see this
And
in the theater either. I didn't pick up on Police Academy in the theater till the third one.
well, and one of the things about it when it came out, it was PG-13 as opposed to R, and the first was R.
Mhm.
And in the second one, there were still like random breasts shown. I don't even know why that scene was in there. There was just like randomly, oh,
Was that where they went
there's
to the beach
a naked
party?
woman. I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a complete random scene. And it wasn't it didn't like drive the plot at all. There was nothing about it, just but it had recently become a thing for PG-13 instead of R movies to come out, and so they cashed in on that so that way teenagers could go see boobies.
Boobies.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of what got some of those numbers in the box office.
It's quite possible. Definitely quite possible. Critically, they said it was a mixed bag. Some reviewers thought the jokes were a little more forced than the original.
Yeah.
But the fans, though, Police Academy 2 is often considered one of the stronger sequels in the franchise, thanks to the new characters like Mauser and the continued chemistry among the core group of people.
Well,
I
and
guess,
the gang actually, I mean, the gang drove it.
yeah. And let's kind of talk about that for a second because they didn't really go too deep here on this thing I created for the cast. So I'm going to go back up here to the cast. And we have more people, obviously, that made this movie. It wasn't just, what we've mentioned. The gang you talked about. We're talking about, should I just say the full name as it was back then? You say they didn't really
Yeah.
like the name anymore.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. But yeah, Bobcat Goldthwait, he doesn't. He goes by Bob now, but great guy, by the way.
So played Zed, leader of the gang. And then of course they introduced Sweet Chuck as well in this
I love
movie.
Sweet Chuck. I love Sweet Chuck.
Now, I think he was only supposed to be in the second one as a shop owner, and that was it.
Yep.
But
But
people
then they
liked
brought
the
him back.
character
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah, and yeah, I know we're not supposed to go outside of this movie, but In Citizens on Patrol, he has one of the best scenes.
I can't remember what it was. What was it?
He actually arrested somebody and then hits him with his nightstick. Like so meek and mild, just like the way he just like it cracks me up every time. But no, Bob actually had one of my favorite scenes when I was a kid. I watched it all the time. When he's falling down the stairs. That hurt. That hurt. That hurt. That is the funniest thing. Me and my sisters laughed about that constantly as he's falling down the stairs. That didn't hurt. That didn't hurt. That hurt.
He's just tumbling, flipping over, rolling over and over. That didn't hurt. That didn't hurt. That didn't hurt. And then she steps on his hand. He's like, "Oh, that hurt." After all that falling, that's what gets it. Lord, some of the other names in this movie that made it worthwhile: Bruce Mailer, who is Doug Fackler. Colleen Camp.
Is that the one that was that had the cat?
He's the one whose wife is going. Whose wife don't want him to go to be a policeman.
Oh yeah, okay,
yeah. And then she goes on in the third one to take her shot at it. Colleen Camp played Kirkland in this. She was good in her role.
Who's the one that had the cat?
Cat. Was that in the second one?
Yeah, and Gutenberg's character goes over because he's partnering with them.
Oh, it's his partner.
And he's like, he moves the cat out of the way, and he's like, "How many times have I told you? The litter box, the litter box." And then he still eats the cereal. The cat trapped in his cereal, and
the guy is always knocking stuff off the food he's eating. That eats it anyway.
Yeah, who was that?
Oh, do you remember they're walking down the street at one point patrolling? He says, "Would you look at that? Someone left a perfectly good candy bar." You know.
Still ate it.
He goes, "You're not gonna eat that, are you?" He goes, "You want to split it?" He goes, "No." No, I don't. But he also had the dog that made a big.
Oh yeah, he carried the dog around. Yeah,
the great scene where they were getting Mauser back for the stuff. Mahoney was getting him back for putting him in that place where, what was it, in a tunnel or something?
Oh no, that was a different scene.
Yeah, no, he sent him out somewhere, and he comes back, and he looks like he's coughing exhaust fumes or something.
Yeah, he made him do tunnel patrol.
That's what it was.
So he was having to walk through the tunnel to do tunnel patrol and make sure that anybody that broke down had a police escort out. Meanwhile, he's there for 8 hours breathing in everything. We don't want civilians to actually have to breathe this in. We want them to be able to get out. But you are in here for 8 hours.
Right. You're getting paid for it. So just take him out and be slow about it. He's going back and he sees Tackleberry fixing his helmet with some kind of glue. He says, "Is that stuff good?" He goes, "Oh yeah. How long take it to dry?" No time. He says, "Let me see it for a second." And he mixes the glue in with Mauser's shampoo.
Go ahead. Paint the scene. I love the scene. I love the scene so much. And I've never laughed so much seeing a naked man in my entire life.
It was so hilarious. He comes out of the shower. He can't see. He's got soap in his eyes. His hands are stuck in his hair on his head. And he's walking around. And now when he comes out, like you said, he's a naked man. They just show his butt, basically.
Yeah.
But it looks like he's in almost some kind of a thin plastic bodysuit too. It looks like there's something just stuck all over him.
Strategically placed suds so you can see.
Right. And he's like wants to know where's Mahoney or who did this? What's going on? All of a sudden Jones gets behind him and starts barking like the dog, Lou. And he's like, "Lou, no, Lou. No, don't do it, Lou." And he chases him out the door, and he's out there in front of all those people now, right? Not in the locker room. So now suddenly he can see. Unlike the locker room. It was a very good scene, though. I don't want to give the whole thing away. I do want people to go watch it, but you're gonna laugh regardless when you watch it.
No, dude, I know it's gonna happen. I still laugh every time.
Right. And the guy you were asking about was Vinny Stuhlman.
Okay.
That was the character Mahoney was partnered with. His name is Peter.
Was he in anything else?
Well, let's take a look. Peter Van Norden.
See, this is why I love doing the show with you, because you instantaneously can look these things up.
He was in the miniseries The Stand in 1994.
Hmm.
He was in a movie called The Accused, Naked Gun 2.5, The Smell of Fear.
Wow, The Accused. That's a slightly different kind of movie.
Definitely a different kind of movie. No doubt about that.
So-
And then let's see. Now he did a lot of TV series. A lot of these people always do the TV series back then. There wasn't just
not
the
just back
movie.
then. I mean,
But I mean, like today, how many TV series have you seen Tom Cruise in, or Val Kilmer when he was, doing his thing,
Alive.
or I mean, how many TV series has Stallone or Schwarzenegger been in?
Tuscan Kings. I mean,
Well, Tulsa Kings, but that's a
Tulsa
new thing
Kings,
though. I'm
yeah,
talking about back in the day and everything.
yeah. No. All right. Yeah.
But he was in stuff like T.J. Hooker and Cheers and uh, let's see, Three's a Crowd, which was a spinoff of Three's Company. Silver Spoons, Hill Street Blues, Family Ties, Benson. Loved Benson. That was a funny show.
I love Benson. Yeah.
But like I said, The Accused movie, An Innocent Man, the Tom Selleck movie. Have you seen that?
I think my mom made me watch it.
Gets sent to prison, basically. You have to
Yeah.
watch it. It's pretty good.
Tom Selleck did a lot more better stuff.
He did better stuff than that, yes, but it was a good movie though, for sure.
I'll
But
take your word.
he went on to do more TV series over the years. Mainly, that's what he. I think he specialized as just a TV series kind of guy, with the occasional movie he'd pop into. So, but Peter Van Norden is his name. Oh, Vinny Stuhlman. Then Tim Kazurinsky, Sweet Chuck.
Uh-huh.
They get him listed as a merchant in here, and that's it.
Well, because that's all he was in the original. He was not the original, but in Police Academy 2, his first scene, he was just supposed to get robbed, and that was it.
Yeah, and like in the preview we showed earlier, he was setting all the defenses up for the store. I didn't know Julie Brown was in this movie. Not downtown Julie Brown, but Earth Girls Are Easy Julie Brown. She played somebody called Chloe. I don't recall that one. Do you know who she was?
I don't remember her in it, no. I
Do you
mean, I
think
know
she
who
was-
she is, but I don't.
Was she one of the gang members?
Probably.
I don't know. George Gaines is in the movie briefly. That's Commandant Lassard. Only the thing I really know him from is Punky Brewster, but I know he's done a lot of movies in his
He
youth.
has, yeah, but Punky Brewster's stepdad, dad, whatever.
Kind of a adopted parent, basically.
Yeah.
The last one I want to bring up is Lance Kinsey. That's my Proctor. Nobody, I don't know, I swear. When he auditioned for the movie, Jerry Seinfeld also auditioned for that role.
Really?
And both of them had the same agent, so they were surprised to see each other there in the casting room. Seinfeld goes in first and auditions. And he comes out and sees Lance, and he comes over to him and he goes, "The job's still open." Apparently, he didn't have a good audition for that role, or it didn't fit him, or something. I don't know, but this guy played it to a T. And the only ones I don't think they were in this one. Were the two cadets from the first one
No.
that were always causing trouble in this one?
No.
I didn't think they were. They come back in the third one.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so that's
No,
it.
but the zoo scene where the gang hideout is the same hideout they used in crap, what is it? The Dan Aykroyd movie with Tom Hanks. Dragnet. Yeah. It's the same.
Is that the old zoo or
Same
the
thing.
new zoo?
It's the old zoo.
The old zoo. Okay, the old zoo.
No, but it's the same set. I thought that was interesting.
They do that a lot, or they used to do that a lot. There's a high
Reuse
school
stuff, yeah.
somewhere that was reused in like 5 or 6 different movies, and it was in a lot of the teen movie that you would see,
Mhm.
like Pretty in Pink or um, Can't Buy Me Love. What's another one? There's 16
The Lost Boys.
Candles.
The Lost Boys also, I think,
The
had
Lost.
the same.
Yeah, a lot. It's quite a few movies, and that one they use that one high school for that
Yeah.
as a setting. It's amazing that they can do that and nobody ever notices. That was in the movie before. I guess you don't stop and think about it though, really.
Well, hopefully you're taken away by the moment and you're not thinking about sets. I think a good set is something that you don't think about.
Yeah,
It moves you into the moment as opposed to you thinking about what you're seeing around it.
should be paying attention to the background anyway. It should be what's in the
Yeah.
forefront there that they're doing. So you're exactly right.
That's why nobody ever notices me in general. I'm always in the background.
You're always in the background. It's your ninja-like abilities to blend in.
That's my X-Men power.
X-Men power. Okay, you don't want to be a cool ninja. You want to be just some nerdy
I'm just not
X-Men.
I'm just not cool. Whatever. There's that.
All right. Well, we'll take that. So let's just talk about for just a quick second here. What really makes Police Academy, what makes it tick? Or what makes it so great for people? I mean, it's funny,
In
yes.
general or this particular movie?
Let's go with this particular movie.
So what I think makes this movie tick is the diversity without being diverse and without forcing it down your throat. And especially the gay overtones so much without
Dun,
it.
dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, as soon as you hear that, like a few notes, you know exactly what.
And they always end up back in there
Mhm.
somehow.
But it's humorous, but it's not mocking. It's not making fun of a lifestyle. It's just saying, "Hey, this is funny that this guy is uncomfortable in this situation."
They're all dressed like the what was it, the Village People or something? You got the little
The
cop
policeman from
look
the
and
well, and I think that's actually where they got it from is the cop from the Village People,
yeah, yeah.
you know? So, but you have white, black, female, male, short, tall, and you can laugh at the situations they're in without making fun of them individually.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what makes it stand apart.
And then for me, I wanted that. I wanted this movie from you to hear what you thought about this movie. The overall series for me that made it keep going that I wanted to go back and watch it. I wanted to see what kind of new gags or jokes or pranks they come up with to do on people. Like you mentioned Miami Beach earlier. There's no
Mhm.
Mahoney on there, but there's the other guy. And Harris, Lieutenant Harris is in this one. And he's telling the guy
He's
to get
forcing it.
away. You're in my son,
Yeah.
just go on. Don't be stupid. I don't know what he says to him, but mainly you're in my son and everything.
Mhm.
He's trying to get a tan. So they wait till he falls asleep and goes there with the sunblock and writes dork on his chest.
And then he has to walk around with dork on his chest. Yeah.
Right, but he doesn't know it's there.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, "Hey, dork, hey, dork," and he sees the mayor of the town or the governor of the state, whatever it
Yeah.
is.
I,
He's
I
like,
think he got the key to the city or something. It was, yeah.
he's like, "Yeah, your people here aren't very friendly," and he's like, "Well, I'm sorry,
Dork.
dork." Stuff like that. I always look forward to seeing what was new, prank wise, that they were doing to somebody or something. So, and there's always laughs in the movie, a lot of wisecracks and
Well,
things like
honestly,
that.
I think it's one of those movies that held up well, but there was a time period where it wasn't. So I'll get political here for a second. There was a time period in this country where police were not as respected. And so a movie that makes fun of police
Mhm.
was not accepted. But I think again, the situation is shifting back again where it's okay to like police and respect police. So the goofball police that you can laugh at while you respect the others is funny.
Yeah.
They overcomplicate fucking humor.
I mean, Police Academy, Naked Gun, yeah, Moving Violations, all these movies, they kind of make fun of the cops a little bit in funny scenarios and stuff. I mean,
Dude, there's nothing funnier than O.J. Simpson playing a cop. Come on.
I know. Have you seen that they've actually uh, redone Naked Gun with Liam Neeson playing the role of it's not really playing the role of Frank Drebin. Frank Drebin was his grandfather.
Really?
Yeah, and there's this scene where he's like, "Oh, Dad." No, I'm sorry, it's his dad, not grandfather. He's like, "Oh, Dad, I miss you so much." And then his partner is a young black guy who looks up at the thing and sees OJ in a picture that could put him. He goes, "Nope, nope, not doing it."
No, I haven't seen that.
You got to look it up.
I will.
There's a trailer out for it now, so that's a part of the trailer. It's great.
Is it going to be a theatrical release or is it straight to streaming?
I've heard theatrical now, unless I hear
Okay.
it correctly. I thought they said theatrical on it. Let me throw a couple of these out here real quick before we wrap up. We're getting about 46-minute mark, so I want to throw a few of these little trivia things out for it. Howard Hessman, we talked about him earlier. You mentioned about also somebody else not wanting to make the movies anymore.
Yeah, Bob actually didn't want to be in the movies. The voice he did in that is the voice he became known for, and that's why he kept doing it in his stand-up. But he really wanted to remove himself from that character and that part of his life. The whole, it was more of a nervous tick that he started with, and once he got over being nervous, he didn't do it anymore. And so when people would go see him do stand-up, they wanted him to do the voice.
Yeah.
So
I imagine that would get annoying.
It's one of the banes of his that he's not a fan of.
Howard Hessman was asked to reprise his role in later sequels, but he outright refused, saying that he regretted doing this film in the first place. He wanted no part of it. Jerry Paris. What did Jerry Paris do for the movie? Hold on. Was he the director or? Yeah, director Jerry Paris and James Signorelli who directed it. But Jerry Paris had 2 kids that were in the movie. So his children were cast. His daughter was Julie Paris. She was given a small role as the checkout girl that Zed talks to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when he said, "I need some beer."
Yeah, clean up on aisle 6.
Yeah.
While his son Andrew
Great
Paris,
scene, by the way, they go and they steal everything, but he pays for the beer.
Right? That's silly. His son is Andrew Paris. He plays Bud, the punchy brother of Kathleen Kirkland.
Oh yeah, okay.
The father and son hitting each other
Yeah.
all the time. He played the son that later on in the next movie goes on to join the school, the academy.
Yeah.
According to Julie Brown, Steve Guttenberg was not very nice to her on set. Shame on you, Mahoney. While filming the street fair scene where Mahoney takes Chloe on a date, that's who she was in. I didn't know. I couldn't remember who she was. By riding the Ferris wheel, Steve refused to go through their scripted kissing scene, telling Julie his character wouldn't kiss hers anyway. The entire subplot was Mahoney and Chloe being deleted from the final cut. So they didn't make that.
No, I've actually heard a lot of people say that Gutenberg was an ass to work with.
Well, they say the same thing about Chevy Chase. It's always they both had that reputation over the years.
Yeah.
And
well, I think as Chevy's gotten older, he's mellowed. There was a time period though where he was definitely everybody didn't like working with him because he thought he was the star.
Yeah.
And it's probably the same thing with Gutenberg. He's like, no, I'm funny. I'm the best.
Well, He wasn't the best in all of Police Academy, apparently, because he wasn't one of the 3 people to be in all 7 movies. Michael Winslow, David Graff, and George Gaines, Commandant Lassard, the only actors who appeared in all 7 movies. Wilson, as I mentioned earlier, goes a step beyond that as the only actor to not appear in all 7 movies, but also a regular role on Police Academy the series in 1997.
Oh, I forgot about that. That was horrible.
It was not good at all.
That was terrible.
Yep. Okay, I know who she is now. Julie Brown. Chloe Daniels was the seamstress.
Yeah.
When he
I
goes
just
in, to get his fitted for his uniform. And he's got that little balloon in his pants and pops it with
Please
the needle.
be gentle.
Oh man. So what was your favorite scene in the movie? I know you gotta have a favorite in there somewhere.
I think we've already said it. It's when Bob's going down the staircase. That hut. That hut. That hut. Either that or how many times have I told you? The litter box. The litter box. As he's scooping crap out of his cereal bowl and he still eats it.
He just, for those of you getting the visual watching, he takes his hand across the top of the cereal bowl doing this right here. Just knocking it off and then getting to the good stuff at the bottom. Man, I think mine was probably the scene where Jones is going by and seeing one of the local merchants on his back dock getting robbed by some thugs. And he's like, "Hey, leave him alone." They're like, "Beat it or you're next." So he's like, "Oh, okay." So he takes off and does this big old flip over the fence.
You want to fight? Fight with me.
Yeah, and he's just taking his time, making a little music sound, and then breaks off to some drums going doom, doom, doom. Then picks back up again with the music. He's putting the headband on. And what's he doing? He starts throwing his hands in all different directions, making that sound like his gi is making noise or something. He ain't even got a gi on.
Yeah. I will say actually my all-time favorite scene in any Police Academy movie is when they arrest people and they put them in the back of the van and Hightower is in there and he starts acting like an African witch doctor or something.
Voodoo king or something. Yeah.
I can't get that out of my head constantly. Just can you imagine how scary it would be to see that huge of a man chanting and going crazy?
And then what was it? It was Tackleberry that comes up with a hockey mask with a chainsaw coming up to the body bag. Yeah.
Yeah, cuts through the body bag with a chainsaw. And everybody's like thinking that, this big huge dude just rose the dead. And
do you remember who one of the kids was in there? In the back of the van with that? Went on to be pretty popular as a comedian.
Hit me.
I'll give you a hint. Chris Farley's best friend.
Oh yeah, David Spade was in there. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I wouldn't say best friend, but yeah.
Well, they were always paired together.
Yeah, no, you're right. David Spade was in that. You're correct.
Yep. So what? Pretty much at this closing up part, I guess 53 minutes in, we'll go and start closing things up. One more time, let the people know where they can actually find you at.
3-cousins.com. That's the number 3.
Number 3.
A hyphen or a dash.
Yes.
Cousins.com. And go to the website and you can get all kinds of cool merchandise. And check out our show as well. We're back weekly again. We took a bit of a hiatus. And for those of you that are watching this on YouTube, you can see why.
Because like me, yet I don't care. But like me, he has,
like me, I don't care.
Like me, he has a face for radio.
Facts, 100%.
That's all right, though. That's why you should put it out there, though. They get an extra giggle, an extra laugh or something,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I just don't believe gravity works, and it keeps proving me wrong.
I mean, these guys have like if you when you're recording, when I'm recording with y'all, sometimes there's a lot going on camera that nobody sees that is hilarious. That would add to it for sure. That's why I said you really should put it out there. It's a lot more work getting the video up there though, but
It is.
so
And I'm lazy, so there's that.
I was gonna say you might not have the time for it. You might just not want to do it. I don't know.
I'm just lazy.
Well, as far as this show goes, you can find us on Spotify. We're on iTunes. Pretty much anywhere where you get your audio podcast that you'll find us on there. We are on YouTube, as we mentioned earlier. So if you got youtube.com/at retro life for you, you'll find us there. All our videos that are up, and we are always putting more stuff up. And like you mentioned earlier, gonna get into some more TV shows and things like music, and it could be anything: music, toys, collectibles. You might even hear a show when they're like fashions back in the day or something we used to have. All things retro on the YouTube page. The website, however, is just going to be the audio. www.retrolife, the number 4, the letter U.com. And you can listen to us in the browser. And there's a player on there as well. And if you go to the show notes, most of the time you'll see the video also in the show notes where it's linked to YouTube. But you may as well just go to YouTube. Ain't that right, Brian?
No, don't go to YouTube. Just
YouTube. Now just speak up a little bit. Speaking to the mic. Speaking to the mic.
No, go to Spotify. Face for radio. I mean, and Chris, you're going to be coming back on one of our shows again soon too, right?
I'm sure. We'll find something I can get on there and argue about or make fun of or something, or you never know. If anything, I'll just show up there and I'll just crack an occasional joke about Tiv and let it be
As you do.
As I do usually, yes.
And to Chris's mom, I'm sorry I did curse a couple times, but
you know what? My mom will take a flip flop to you.
I know.
Maybe 2.
That's why I'm not going to Tennessee, man.
Well, it's all right. One of these days you'll find yourself in Nashville coming to watch a hockey game, and you're going to call, and I'm going to show up, and then I'm going to have my mom with me with flip flops.
And your mom's going to beat the crap out of me.
That's right. That's right. All right. Well, Brian, thanks for coming on and talking about Police Academy with me, man. We're going to get you back on again soon, just like Shalom and everything. And I don't know where Tiv's at, man. He's just been disappearing lately. He come on one time and talked about Red Dawn and didn't like me and come back or anything anymore. So that's fine.
No, he's chasing Sasquatch.
Okay. Is he looking for that reward money?
No, he misses his friend.
Just wants pictures made with him. Get a selfie with him.
Correct, 100%.
All right. I hope he finds him. Shaves him down, teaches him how to speak, be the best buddy at that point, wherever they go. Sounds like a blast. Let's stop while we're ahead. All right. We'll see you guys.
I'm letting you finish, man. I'm sorry. I've never felt more like a woman in my entire life. Please finish.
Well, if you feel like a woman, you definitely should not go on YouTube because you definitely don't have the look for that.
Facts.
All right. We'll catch you guys next week. Brian, thanks for coming on again. Until next time, we're out.